Hello, I'm back because I've been thinking about some songs and I'm gonna talk about them in this video. First song I want to talk about is called Alberto Balsalm. I hope I'm saying that alright. That's by Aphex Twin. Aphex Twin makes instrumental music. I think it's IDM is the genre. I've listened to a few of his songs, but not many, if I'm being honest, which is a bit of a theme in these videos. I'm sort of just trying new music out, new artists, new genres, sort of song by song, whereas in the past I might have gone in the deep end with an album. This time I don't really have as much time to listen to albums. It doesn't really fit into my daily schedule as much anymore. But like a song by song basis, I'm discovering more music. And this song in particular, I'm a big fan. It's very sort of ethereal, ambient. I like the beeps and the boops, and the drums as well. In particular, there's this one bit. It reminds me of the part in Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger by Daft Punk, where it's like a choo, 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 choo. Like, again, if you know the song, I hope you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just love like those little drum sounds that really like pierce through the mix. And I don't know, there's something about them. It's like the high frequency makes like the hairs on the back of my neck like stand up. But in a fucking good way. So yeah, sticking with instrumental music, I actually want to talk about some video game soundtracks. So I'm starting off with Persona 5 and the song in particular Beneath the Mask instrumental version. Persona 5 and the Persona series, they're quite well known for their great music. Persona 5 and this song in particular, it has a real like sort of jazzy vibe, quite calm. The song has quite a few sections that are very catchy. It's relaxing. I definitely recommend putting this on, or even like the whole soundtrack, or however you feel when you're doing something like cooking or any sort of tidying task, some chores. This will definitely brighten up the experience. So yeah, man, check that out. The next soundtrack I want to mention is Skyrim. Now, Skyrim is a legendary game, and it's known for its fantastic atmosphere, which is helped in large part by the music. Man, it's like Lord of the Rings kind of vibes, this fantasy sort of medieval music. It really matches with the world. And what's so great about the game is how the music is programmed to be like reactive to what you, the player, is doing in the game. Like if you're just wandering around the forests, it'll play something a bit more ambient, peaceful. And then if you're in a cave or dungeon fighting Draugrs, then man, like that shit kicks in. And it's so hype, energetic, of course, of this like medieval theme. Just makes you feel like a badass like warrior fighting with the sword. You might have like the magic, like like some fire or electricity. Like those are the ones you start out with. Yeah, man, Skyrim is great. Moving on to the next one, but for sort of similar reasons, I want to shout out the Minecraft soundtrack. I've been playing a bit of Minecraft recently, got back into it. And to be honest, I used to find Minecraft a little boring, to be honest. I sort of played it at the start of the pandemic for a while. I had a phase, but I fell out of love. But now I've found it again. Like, I've got it on my laptop. I'm playing Java with mods and all like the updates since I last played. It's added a lot to the game, and yeah, I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I think I'll be playing Minecraft from now on as my main game. Soundtrack doesn't play like the whole time. You know, there's breaks where all the sound in the game is just the stuff you're doing, walking around, placing blocks, breaking blocks, the animals like cows, sheep, whatever. And that's quite peaceful. But then the music, just like in Skyrim, it kicks in at always like the right moment. It might seem random in Minecraft. Like, for me, I was just doing stuff in my house yesterday in my Minecraft house, and the music kicked in, and I was like, oh, like, wasn't really doing anything in particular, but it just felt so right. The music in Minecraft is sort of like, I'd call it similar to the Aphex Twin stuff I've heard. It's just ambient, peaceful, repetitive, calming, you know, but I will say that sometimes you're like mining or deep in a cave and just out of nowhere, like this scary ass music starts playing. That's hype, even though it's not like peaceful or anything. It's just, again, it just adds so much atmosphere to the game, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, that's my little video game segment over, though. Back to rap. I want to talk a bit about Jpegmafia. I've been listening to him a bit more recently. I always have, since about 2018, 2019 maybe, when I listened to Veteran. That was my first introduction to JPEG, as I'm sure it was for a lot of people. That's when he blew up, really. However, that album, for me personally, it's not like a real favorite like it used to be. Since that album, I think that Peggy has really shifted his sound to a more melodical kind of style, while still keeping a lot of that energy that he had on Veteran. But now it's sort of coming from a different place, I feel like. And I really like that. So in particular, I want to shout out his last album, which is called LP, and EP2, which came out before LP. Those two projects are probably my favorite from him at the moment. And if you want songs in particular to check out, there's Nemo and DIKEMBE from LP. Nemo is very melodic, but also got like so much energy. I actually, I'm pretty sure I even saw it live. Yeah, I saw Jpegmafia live last year, and it was one of my favorite concerts that I've been to. Like, he had lost his voice, kind of, but he was still like giving it his all. But due to that fact, though, the show ended early, but I still feel like it was worth every penny. He gave us such a great performance, great energy. The crowd was amazing. Love Jpegmafia, man. I can't wait for him to drop more music, man. He's dropping a collab album with Danny Brown, man. Danny Brown is one of my favorite rappers, like one of my biggest influences, and they're dropping an album together this year. And Peggy says he's dropping, I don't know, was it 2 albums or 3 albums? That's one of them, then yeah. Well, I'm just super excited for more Jpegmafia. Really, really in the mood for his music recently. Yep. Fantastic. Carrying on with rap, and the last song I'll talk about today, Second Childhood by Nas. This actually links back to Peggy because during the pandemic, Peggy had like this whole kind of documentary type series thing on his YouTube, and he used to do freestyles in them, and he freestyled over the beat of this song, Second Childhood by Nas, produced by DJ Premier. So the Nas original, in the first verse, Nas talks about his own childhood, and he's reminiscing about growing up, his surroundings at the time, like the block he grew up in, people he's reminiscing about, and it's just Nas. You can tell that he's a real observant guy. Like through everything I've heard from him, like he has such a great way of describing, like painting a picture in your mind. It's really great, and I don't know, like with the beat as well, it has like this real nostalgic feeling to it. It's bright and sunny, and it really puts you in his shoes at that time, or it's like you're seeing what he's talking about through his eyes. Like it's incredible. And then on the second and third verse, he sort of raps about two people, like a man on the second verse and a woman on the third verse, who sort of stalled in their lives, never really matured or really achieved what they could have achieved in comparison to their peers and stuff like that. And they got trapped in sort of some toxic environments, toxic behaviors. And Nas sort of puts it in this way that they're living their second childhood, you know, at the age of something like 30, because they just never really got out of their first childhood. However, with age, you know, things change, but they're still stuck in that mindset. And I think it's a really good like idea for a song, which I haven't heard done so like specifically this topic. You know, rappers or artists, they sort of like touch on this topic, but I've never heard a whole song about it. And it can be kind of a harsh truth, I think, that some of the people you grew up with, they don't all make it to where they could have made it, and it's a shame sometimes, you know. But at the same time, maybe it could give you the perspective of, if you're feeling like you ain't done shit with your life, maybe you'd feel like, you know what, I'm getting somewhere and I'm doing something for myself, whereas some of the people I grew up around didn't really have the same vision. Great track from Nas. I'd call that a classic. Yeah, that's it for this week's episode. I tried to make this one more sort of casual than the last episode. The last episode, I wrote a script out for everything, and I'm not really sure. I feel like this sort of natural way of talking is a lot better listenability, and I can sort of look at the camera more. And yeah, you'll probably notice that this has a lot more editing. First episode was just raw. I wanted to make it, put it out, make mistakes to see what I needed to do for next time. And yeah, here I am. So I'm happy. If you're happy, great. If you're not happy, take it easy. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And, you know, if you got to the end of the video, I'd appreciate a comment, a thumbs up, give me any constructive feedback, and stay blessed. See you next week, maybe in 2 weeks. I'll see how I feel. I'll see if I'm free. But until then, have a good one.